All right, hi everybody. We are back with another Monday lesson, and today I'm continuing off of a previous lesson about transcribing. All right, if you have not checked that out, please go and do that. It's lesson number 14 called Transcribing. And in that video, I'm kind of tailored towards more of our melodic voices, right? Piano, guitar, our winds, vocals, all of those things, but it's still a very good lesson for you to go back and check out. So please do that. Now, today it's still for all, but I'm kind of more tailored towards our rhythmic friends. All right, our drummers, our percussionists. All right, but this also helps all people, winds, vocals, piano, guitar, bass, because we are dealing with rhythm. All right, understanding rhythm and how it helps you in transcribing, how to play these things correctly. All right, how to understand the line, syncopations, and all of these things. All right, so today you're going to see me kind of playing some things out on the snare drum to kind of understand rhythm and understand accents and all the different things I'll talk about. All right, ready? So let's dive right into it. All right, so the first thing we need to understand is subdivision, how things break down by subdivision. So we're going to be dealing in 4/4, which is our common time signature, a lot today. All right, so let's look at this diagram here. So what we see is a whole note, followed by half notes. Then we have eighth notes, 16th notes, and at the bottom there we have some triplets. All right. So we need to understand how these things fit into one another. What happens is the notes get twice as fast the more we subdivide. All right, so a half note is twice as fast as a whole note. Quarter note is twice as fast as a half note, and so on and so forth. Now, triplets have a different way of kind of fitting into there. All right, we can fit in 3 equally divided eighth notes into the time of a quarter note. All right. So let me show you these things here. I'm going to play it on the snare drum, and I'll go from whole notes to half notes, quarter notes, 16th notes, and then what I'll do is I'll play quarter notes, then I'll play the triplets, and then I'll play the triplets at the same time as the quarter notes. You can kind of hear how those things fit in there. All right, so check it out. All right, so now that we understand that, why is that important? Why do we care? Why can't we just turn on the record and just try to figure it out? Especially for our drummers. Let's talk about why that's important. Could you just cut on the record and just try to match it up and do your best? You could, but this is going to give you a quicker way to get to that result. If we're trying to figure out a groove, if we're trying to figure out a solo, if we're trying to figure out a lick, this is going to help you. Why? Because it helps you kind of understand groupings a lot. All right. So if you're trying to figure out a drum groove, for instance, you can zone in on that kick pattern. You can zone in on that hi-hat and see, okay, what exactly is being played? Is it better to think about this as an eighth note thing, a quarter note thing, a triplet thing, right? A 16th note thing? What's the syncopation here? All right, which leads me to my next point. Syncopation. Now that we understand what these different rhythms sound like in time, let's talk about syncopation. All right, so I'm going to play some various things that are syncopated. And usually what happens with syncopation is we have rests. Rest mean exactly that. Do nothing. We do not play in rest. And what they do is they kind of juxtapose the rhythms that you hear to give it a different feel, to give it a different groove, right? If I play a straight bar of 16th notes, it may not sound as funky, as groovy as if I throw some rest in there, which kind of throw off the consistency to give it some syncopation, make it jump around a little bit. All right, but it still needs to help you understand the basis of the groupings, right? Eighth note syncopation, triplet syncopation, 16th note syncopation. All right, we really don't see too much syncopation with with half notes and quarter notes, right? Some of these things that move a little faster, we need to syncopate those to give it a different feel, especially in grooves, especially in licks. That's why it's important. So check this out. All right, listen to all of that. All right, in that we heard some syncopation. We even heard some accents. All right, which is in speech kind of our inflection of certain words, certain parts of words. Right, the emphasis that we put on those, we can apply that same concept to music, which kind of helps the groove, which kind of helps the line, which kind of helps the idea take musicality, take life, take shape. All right, so that's why it's important to kind of understand where these things are. So when you're listening to some of our favorite drummers, Calvin Rogers, Dave Welkel, a lot of these cats, we can kind of understand a little bit quicker what they're doing, right? And even develop exercises to help us achieve playing what we hear on these records. Okay, so that's why this stuff is very important. Now, for our vocal and melodic friends, all right, rhythm is very important, especially in transcribing, to help us play the line correctly. If we have a string of notes and we play them without any sense of rhythm, it's not going to have the same effect as playing it with a certain right rhythmic form, right? Especially for transcribing. I can transcribe an Oscar Peterson line or a Coltrane line or whatever and not play it in the right rhythm, and it will not have the same effect. You cannot listen to me play and say, oh man, that sounds like Oscar Peterson. That sounds like Wynton Kelly. That sounds like whoever, Robert Glasper. If I can't even play it the same way they would play it, the same rhythmic emphasis that they would have, right? So we need to understand the shape of the line, the syncopation, the timing, how to subdivide. Is that a triplet line that he's playing, or is it an eighth note line, or is it a 16th note line? How should I subdivide? How should I go about trying to play this string of notes, right? In the last video, we kind of talked about what helps us get the notes: scales, chords, right? Arpeggios, things like that, enclosures, all of that good stuff. Now we need to understand the rhythm of these things to help us play it correctly. So now we have an exercise. Exercise. So what I'm going to do is play some things on the snare drum again. And I want you to decide, okay, was that more 16th note based? Was that more 8th note based? Okay, was it some rest? Was it syncopated or not? Or was it a straight string? Was there some accents in there? Was it not? Okay, and let me know what you come up with, and I will post answers. All right, so check it out. All right. How'd you do? How you think you did? Answers are coming up soon. So that concludes our lesson for today. Take these same skills and apply them to the records that you love, the things that you are trying to figure out, the chords, the grooves, the rhythms. All right, these drum grooves that you're trying to figure out, these drum licks that you're trying to get a hold of. Apply these rhythmic concepts to that, and I guarantee you, you're going to have a much better result. All right, watch the rest of this video for your answers. All right, you're going to get a link. You're going to get a link to my book and also my contact information. All right, please contact me with any questions, any comments, anything that you'd like me to go over. All right, we have merchandise. All right, I also also offer studio services. So if you need piano on the track, if you need bass, if you need drums, contact me. All right, everything sound good? I will see you all next Monday.